Look at that hole.
He has homework. He has to get a haircut and buy a CD and buy presents. Yeah, he has to buy presents.
I have to go get a CD too. The very first Rage Against the Machine. Wait, where'd she go? Oh, look at that, she's gone.
Play right.
Hey Lauren, can I ask you a few questions? Hey Vanessa, can I ask you a question? What do you think of the youth group at your church?
It's great.
Cool. Lauren Funderburg, mind if I ask you a question? Hey man, what do you think of your youth group at church?
I love it.
Anything else?
I love it.
Get the money users.
Jonathan, what do you think of your youth group at church?
I think it's very not good. Actually, my youth group.
No, Jonathan, for real, what do you think of your youth group?
My youth group. What do I think my youth group?
What do you think of your youth group, retard?
Oh, alright, it's good, I guess.
Youth group, 4, 5.
This is Jonathan's hand. That one right there. Luck. This
one.
This way.
Stupidity.
Wait.
Stupidity.
No.
Stupidity.
No.
I know.
Hey Mickey, this is your first time at the church, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of it so far?
It's the blue. It's wonderful. It's I don't have a speak for it.
Okay. Hey John, how's it going? What do you think of the youth group that you teach?
They're fantastic.
Great. All the kids are just half of them.
All of them.
Do you have any favorites?
No.
Any favorite middle schoolers?
No.
Oh.
I like them all equally.
Oh. Nathan!
What?
What do you think of your youth group?
They suck.
No, for real, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't care.
You're a dork.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to die?
Yeah.
Do you like death?
My grandmother's coming next weekend.
Her father wanted her to take her.
How was your, I don't mean the movie.
Hey, Mr. Plummer, what do you think of the kids in the youth group at
I
church?
thought it was great.
You thought it was
Hey,
great?
don't photograph me. I don't
He's
have
lying. He's lying.
Ah, here.
He thought it sucked.
There we go.
It was okay.
Alright, I need a mic.
My cell phone?
Say there were cell phones? This is a high quality mic.
Talk loud.
What about JT? Should I?
Yeah,
He
go
wasn't
ahead.
there, but I'm just gonna say. Just about the youth groups.
Yeah.
He's like busy with people. Here, live on the scene at the youth church. There's no one that's not talking.
Ask the little boy what he thinks.
Excuse me, miss. Filming a documentary on the youth church group. What do you think of our youth?
The youth group seems to be very active, happy, and very congenial.
Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a few questions? What do you think about the youth group at the church? He likes it. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Great man.
Oh, and you got sound on that?
Yeah. Oh, you're so cute. Look at that. Oh, you're so cute. Oh. You're gonna blow a blood vessel.
I know, it's all face.
Poor thing. Baby on the run, baby on the run, baby on the run.
Here, let me ask that little boy.
Oh.
What's your group here at our church?
Well, I'm delighted. First of all, it used to be, and now now you're doing a lot of different things that you do now, and you're and have classes, and so that's great.
Yes. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Hurry up, hurry up.
What do you think about the youth
Stop.
group?
Battery is too low.
It doesn't mean it's
Go,
I think
go,
we
go,
do.
go,
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 go.
go. Act together. Lights.
What do you think, Josie?
Oh, I have not been thinking a lot.
Look at those nipples.
I think the youth group is great. It needs to be more productive. It tells me about
You
angular
can throw a lot from a man's shoes.
So did you guys hear about the asteroid that near us?
He was scared.
Hey, all y'all beat up Jonathan.
No.
My back. I hurt my
A
back.
place of peace.
Excuse me, ma'am. What do you think of the Unitarian Universalist church group?
I think they're kind of crazy, but we got.
Is there any favorites that you have in the group?
Not you.
Me?
Shut up, freak.
Yeah, let's go, Shea. I'm downstairs.
Yes, ma'am. Christine, what do you think of the church group here?
I think it's fun.
Do you have a favorite church group member?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Shaylin. Shaylin is my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think about the children's group at the UU church?
Oh, it's great.
Do you have any favorite kids?
Of course. Shaylin is my favorite. He is just the greatest person.
Thank you for your time. Could you please step into the room so I can see your face?
She's the president of his own fan club.
Okay, what do you think of the Unitarian Universalist Church kids group?
How many times are you going to ask me this?
I don't know. What do you think of it?
I like it.
Do you have any favorite kids?
Does it have to be Shaylin?
Yes, thank you, thank you.
There's a kid now.
And also, I can do this.
Questions. What do you think of the kids in the youth group here at church?
Fine. They're great.
Thank you. Here at church, I'm doing a documentary.
Well, sure. Tall.
Thank you. Ask you a few questions.
Yes.
What do you think of the youth group here at church?
I have no idea. I was here yesterday.
Where's the flood?
Up your bunny around the corner.
Oh, okay.
For years. Chris Jitters combines a vigorous temperament with a kindly nature. Chris Jitters will be a volunteer this summer in the wilderness section of a national park in the mountains of West Texas. Congratulations. Okay. Nick is a friendly fellow and worked hard to catch up with classmates more accustomed to our congregation. He went out to a movie and lunch with his mentor, President Apesha Adams, and talked with his mentor, Chris Worth, about Chris's brother that works for a video games company. Both Nick and Nick's family figures that he will work on computers in The Lion, The Witch, and the Wardrobe several years ago. He would like to attend Miami University partly because he is a Windsor. He would like to be an actor, but he realizes that it is a very competitive career. Shea appreciates the Hindu idea of karma. He sees life as cycles with the consequences of our action rippling out and then coming back home again to us. Shea learned from his mentor Carlos Fraticelli to have fun with whatever you are doing. I have found in Shea O'Rourke a conciliatory person, able to elegantly harmonize different personalities and ideas. Congratulations. Christy Rohal visited her mentor, Suzanne McKelvey's work at the mental health facilities of Baptist St. Vincent, and learned that with sufficient hard work, you can combine a significant significant career and an active family life. With her other mentor, Dr. Lionel Bryan, she taught politics and the liberation of being a UU and not having a strict set of dogmas, but rather learning to follow your own path. Christine learned that Emerson quote after seeing it in the RE service last year. Christine wants to combine a real career and an active family life. She believes that it is important for Unitarian Universalists to not get caught up in what they don't believe, but to learn to effectively apply their beliefs and principles in practical social action in the community. Congratulations. And Vanessa Singh. Vanessa has been homeschooling, and she plans to start college next year while she is also finishing high school. She tells me that there are 3,000 high school students involved in some kind of program at the FCCJ campuses in Duval County. She looks forward to a career in engineering. The church is an important social center for her and for her friends. She likes the way that we enjoy being together even when our beliefs differ significantly. She is looking for discipline and understanding, for calm in the chaos of life, and she wants to develop the discipline to fulfill her goals. She sees the church as a wonderful springboard to getting out into the world to meet new people and to explore new places. Congratulations. Once more, and we'll do one more round of applause.
Successful religious education program is young people who have the sure knowledge that they are not alone in this task, who recognize and choose to live as members of the community formed by our liberal faith. This year there were 6 religious education classes and the nursery. There were several special holiday celebrations. There were social projects and social events. All these required leaders and volunteers. So please join me in recognizing and thanking our religious education volunteers. But first, before we do that, I want to thank a professional among us, and that's Ann Gaudreau. Would you stand up, Ann? Ann is our professional caretaker, usually in the nursery, who's been here for over a year and makes our nursery program excellent. She's always on time, she's always here, and the parents rave about her care. So we really thank you, Ann, for your service. Next, I want to thank our teachers in the kindergarten class, and that's the 4- and 5-year-olds. That would be Marcia Collins, Barry McDaniel, Betsy Miller, and Caroline Jenners. Would y'all stand up? We especially appreciate the kindergarten teachers' creativity and patience. Next, I want to thank the primary class teachers. That's the first and second graders. Under the care of Amy Tanner, Candy Rue, and Betsy Miller, the primary class has built a church, a garden, and an understanding of God that might go beyond some of the understandings that we as adults have. They know what it takes to be a church. Amy, will you and Betsy and Candy please stand up? The intermediate class has had the teachers of Steve Wong, Bob Slitzer, Dave and Teresa Singletary, and I ask y'all to stand up. The intermediate class needs more girls. So if you know any girls that need to be in the intermediate class, bring them along. The next, I would say intermediate, I meant elementary. The next level is the intermediate class. That's the 5th and 6th graders, and their teachers are Meg Hall, Donna Russell, Pam Beck, and Sarah Robinson. Would y'all stand? I want to let everyone know that these kids in 5th and 6th grade and in the 7th and 8th grade were amazing after 9/11. The questions that they asked and the statements that they made are one of the reasons I keep coming back Sunday after Sunday. There was some amazingly profound statements and wisdom coming from those two classes after 9/11. So I especially want to thank their teachers and all the teachers for all the growth that happens in the young ages. And now we move to the teenagers. We have those teenage children in 2 classes. The first is the middle school class, and that was led by Lou Britton and Michelle O'Rourke. Would y'all stand? And the high school class, which is led by John and Holly Smith. And I also want to especially thank the middle school teachers and the high school teachers for struggling with kids who sometimes go through this phase of, I don't want to go, and then they grow into this phase of, we want to go, hurry, hurry, get us there. So, what a span of attitude. It's wonderful. I also want to thank at this time all the many volunteers who've led all kinds of other things that support the classes. From evaluations to social action projects to bulletin board decoration to nursery helpers, everything that needs to go on for our RE program to be successful and fun and a place where bonding happens. So if all those people who are also listed in the bulletin, who have helped in support roles, would y'all please stand? I'm talking about Linda Plummer, Mike Beck, Deanna Weber, Greg Hines, Diane Creedon, Jeannie Huebner, Steve Fowler, Betsy Durling, Evan Etter, Sandy Larison, Lane Manis, Lois Morris, Missy James, Karen Biden-Heinen. All these people stand up and anybody else that wants to sit. And now the rest of the congregation, please stand up. If you haven't stood up already, stand up now. I want to thank this whole congregation for being so supportive of religious education for children and youth. There are many churches where the children meet in the basement or off in some distant building and they never come into church. There are many churches where the children and the RE teachers are forgotten and seen as an adjunct program. That is not true here. We are very integrated and very intergenerational, and it's because of the attitude of the whole congregation that children and teens belong. So I want to thank you for that. It's a wonderful thing. So now let's sing hymn number 130. We can stand for that.
Good morning. It's amazing when that many people involved in the religious education program that there's anybody in church, isn't it?
It's like I have a mini this
It's really impressive. The Protestant Musicale was a great success last night. Really wonderful. The Protestant music was phenomenal. And Martha McCann's and her crew's wonderful meal and champagne was just a great evening. Thank you so much. And we have a picnic today after the service. We hope an ice cream social honoring our coming of age affirmation graduates. We hope you'll all stay with that. Some of you brought food, and that's great, but I'm sure there'll be enough for everyone. So if you didn't bring food and your schedule allows for it, please stay with us today. Next Sunday, my colleague, Reverend Abhi Janamanchi, who grew up in India and serves the Clearwater Unitarian Universalist Church, is going to be our speaker. Very appropriate that we would have a person who grew up in the third world speaking to us on globalism, and he's bringing his family with him. I hope you'll welcome them. I'm going to be up in the Valdosta, Georgia church during the service up there with them, and this is an exchange. I went over to Clearwater earlier in the year. What we wanted to do it as a staggered exchange because I remember what it was like when I had young children. It was a little difficult to get away and have vacations, so that way they'll be able to have a weekend in our house and make vacation time more feasible for them. Bobby's just won a National Sermon Award, which he'll present the sermon at the General Assembly. I think he's going to do a different sermon for us, but obviously this gives you the sense of the quality of his presentation, so I hope you'll be with us. It's a wonderful opportunity. And the first three services in June, we start after this Sunday, we start our summer religious education program, so they'll be more informal. And not next Sunday, where we'll have a guest speaker, but the following 3 Sundays after that, we'll have family-oriented services. It'll be a great time to bring new people. We're going to be even different seating so that people can have small group interchanges. And I'm going to be talking about Harry Potter's magic the first Sunday in June, and Unitarian Universalism made simple the second Sunday, and the third Sunday in June, how to raise a parent. On Father's Day. So I think there'll all be interesting topics that our young people will have things to share with us as well as we with them. So I hope that you'll come to those Sundays and bring friends. There are other announcements that need to be made at this time. It is our custom to meet visitors, and so if I'll change the regular cycle. If you're sitting on the south side and you're a visitor among us and you'd like to stand up and just tell us your names, introduce yourself in some way, that's great. You don't have to do it. It's not required, but if you'd like to do it, we welcome you to do it. Anybody on this side would like to stand up and yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Erin O'Rourke.
Hi, Erin. Welcome. Are you related to the O'Rourke?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Good. You're in good company.
I'm Megan O'Rourke.
Hi. Glad you're both here. You have a wonderful family. Well, thank you for sharing them with us. Anybody on this side? And on the north side, is there anybody who'd like to introduce themselves this morning? Welcome.
Jill Birch. I'm from Sweden.
Hi.
Hi. And I'm Cassie Smith.
Oh, come on. Shut up. I'm glad you got it. Thank you so much.
My name is Mary Thompson.
Mary, we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us.
My name is Elizabeth Lewis, and I'm here with you.
Elizabeth, you're in your company too. We're glad you're here. On the second Sunday of each month, we have an orientation for you people that come over here on the south side. And so if you're with us on the second Sunday, we'd like to learn more about the congregation and our denomination, what we believe and how we put it into practice. Please join us for one of those Sundays.
I was telling you earlier that every year the religious education program for children and youth offers something in addition to the Sunday morning RE classes for our teens. This year, John and I led the coming of age affirmation program. 10 of our teens, from 8th graders to 17-year-olds, came together on Sunday evenings to take a deeper look at who they are becoming. Many cultures and many religious traditions throughout the world recognize and respond to the need to provide an intense focus on the transition from child to adult. In our culture, indeed in our community, this transition from child to adult gets pretty diffused over the many teenage years. In order to mark the transition that is gradually taking place, John and I sought to apply some intensity. That means some pressure. So that our teens might be ready to take the step from student to teacher, from child to adult, from seeker to doer, from participant to member. You have already heard 3 students' statements of faith. You will hear 8 more. Each teen was required to write a 2-page statement, a paragraph, and a sentence, each of those summarizing their essential beliefs. This exercise was just a piece of the whole program, which involved service, mentored relationships, and a test about reading the history and famous people. At one point I said to John, you know, this test is similar to what I had to take when I went for the fellowship committee. So I thought it was pretty hard, but I think they did well. But I do think the pressure we applied caused some anxiety. Some questioned whether or not they would get to graduate if they didn't get all the answers right. Well, life is about answers. And statements of faith are a presentation of our individual answers, our answers to life's questions at any given point in time. But our focus in the Coming of Age program, with these teens and with all our children, and the whole RE program, is to arrive at that place that our liberal faith actually brings all of us to. And that is a continual attempt to ask or to frame the ultimate questions. Not the answers, but the questions. So that we live our lives in communion with each other and with what brings hope and freedom and goodness. So you as adults, think about your statement of faith. Are you asking the right questions so that you live your life focused on hope and freedom and goodness? We certainly think our teens are beginning to do that. So we invite more statements of faith to be ready.
To say that you're a Christian is saying what? what? Is it saying that you accept God and give into God's will and everything He says? Do you have to pray every time you eat or start something? I don't believe this is so. In fact, I don't believe that I'm a Christian. I believe in religious tolerance, and everyone has their own right to believe what they want to. I also wish everyone thought the same way. The world would be a better place if everyone just accepted the way people are. Whether they're Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist, or in my case, I think this is right, agnostic. I wish it all didn't matter. If the world got along like the Unitarian Universalists get along with other world religions, I would not be afraid to say that I don't believe in God or Jesus, and I don't believe in the Bible. I don't like to bring up the subject of religion, but when it does, I tremble and hope the question doesn't come to me. This is what goes through my head every time someone asks me what church I go to and what it means. After I explain to the best of my knowledge what UU is, comes the question, what do you believe in? I try to change the subject after the question, but most of the time it doesn't work. And I have to say it. I'm afraid of what would happen if I said I don't believe in God or Jesus. In this all-Christian world and very judgmental society, it is hard for me to say what I believe. It is especially hard for a high schooler in a mostly Christian school to sell somebody that I don't know and I don't really care to know. I believe people should be able to believe what they want. And to say I believe in a certain thing would be lying. I don't know what it is, and I really don't have the urge to find it, because I believe if I found I believe if it was found, it would put a damper on my creative thoughts and close my mind to any thoughts around me. I believe that religion was created in fear of the unknown. This fear, luckily, I believe, was not put into my head, so I don't have the fear, and I don't have a veil on my thoughts, so I can believe what I want without fear. In the future, I plan to have a successful life that is not guided by God or Jesus or by living the word of the Bible. The 10 Commandments are good rules to live by, but I don't believe they were given to whomever by God, but they were developed as a general rule to live by. They should be lived by all, but I don't believe that God looks over them and condemns you if you perhaps happen to fault on one of them.
A wonderful part of the program is the mentors. We ask now if we can arrange it, a woman and a man, and an older and a younger person for each of our students. And they tried to meet with their mentors twice. Once probably more focused on the mentor's faith, what they believe, and once more focused on what they've done with their life in terms of their vocation and their daily life, how they put that faith into practice. And I would like all the mentors that are present to stand. I'm not going to read all the names that are in your program. It's a wonderful group of people, and I thank them so much for making this considerable sacrifice on the church's behalf. Vanessa.
I'm going to start off with my statement of faith, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal experience with my mentors. I want very much to believe that there is something waiting for me, listening to me when I need to talk, answering my wishes, and controlling everything I can't control. But so far I haven't seen, felt, heard, or believed in anything of the sort. It's hard for me to believe in something that I have no proof of. To revolve my beliefs around a being of some type when I don't even know what that being is, if it is a being at all. I try to explain this to someone, anyone, and they say they worry for me and are scared for me. But why? I'm not scared or worried. I'm content in my beliefs and I'm happy just learning. I don't want to dwell on my death. I feel this is our chance to do something, anything. We shouldn't live to die, but live like there is no tomorrow, and then die the way you want to live. I see things around me, especially when I'm in or at a certain place, that are fascinating and beautiful. I try to pick up on the little details in life that make it worth living. To me, making it through one more beautiful day is a miracle. Sometimes just stopping and paying attention to what is going on around you. It may be utter chaos or something simplistic. Maybe there is nothing. like the kind of days when there isn't any breeze and everything is very hot, still, and no sounds are weird. So I've been recapturing my life lately and things that I've done, especially the most recent, which was helping at the homeless shelter. Seeing the way people, just like me, have to live in a building with strangers where they are forced to go because they have no other choice. I wonder what they are thinking, religion and belief-wise, and how their lifestyle or situation has impacted these thoughts. The ones with children who can't afford college or to provide simple pleasures for themselves or their children. I can't imagine what they are going through. I have a supportive family, food on my table, and my future is financially stable. I think religion depends on you as a person, your lifestyle, and the environment you were brought up in. When in a discussion about faith or religion, it seems Jesus is always brought up. I walk into many of my relatives' homes and notice relics, crosses, or plaques of the Ten Commandments strewn throughout their homes. I always wonder how Jesus would react if he saw this, and if he would have only known what impact he was making on and how strongly it shapes society today. I personally believe Jesus was an outstanding man and teacher. He obviously expressed fascinating ideas for his time and was well respected, but I can't understand why so many people revere him so. If I were going to worship somebody with so much passion as to congregate 4 times a month, I think I would need a little or a lot more proof of his work and teaching. Yet this is only my way of thinking. I feel like, or rather know, that I have so much to learn, and this 2-page summary of my so-called beliefs means nothing to the populated world of knowledge and power. I feel fortunate to know everything I know, though. I've learned many things through my travels and experiences. Being Unitarian for me has been the best experience of all. In the past 5 years, I've developed a community of friends, and I enjoy my time with them as well as my family at the church. Aside from discipline, acceptance, and understanding, I've learned tolerance, which in my opinion is the best lesson of all. Though I still have my quarrels and my opinions are different than others, I've learned to accept and discuss rather than argue and or ignore. I hope I will never forget these things, the lessons that were not only taught to me, but lessons I've also taught myself. This has been one of the hardest papers I've ever written. I have no bibliography to show, no references I've gone to. No one could help me with this one. I really feel like my head doesn't hold that much space for religion. I don't have that many words to fill 2 pages because it isn't something I usually give much thought. Though I managed, but as always my beliefs will change, and personally, I hope they do. Okay, so as John said, we had mentors assigned to us at the beginning of the affirmation, and we met at John and Kathleen's house. It was like a gathering or a meeting, and we had food provided for us. And each of the teams were paired with 2 mentors, a man and a woman. And our goal throughout the next couple of months was to have at least 2 meetings with our mentors, which many of us didn't accomplish, but I think we all got something out of it. And the questions were given to us to have answered, and some subjects were supposed to be brought up with our mentors at our meetings. So the questions were given to us at the introduction meeting. And over the next few months at our meetings, John and Anne-Marie would check up with us to make sure we were on schedule with our mentors and making sure that things were getting accomplished. So on to my personal experience. My mentors were C. Zamba and Jack Nolan. At the introduction meeting, the 3 of us get together discussed our past as well as our present-day lives while eating the delicious food Kathleen and John provided for us. A few weeks later, I called Z for my first meeting. I met at her Riverside home where her and I discussed probably everything you could ever discuss. I don't think there was ever a moment of silence. The 2 of us sat in her fantastically unique home drinking sweet tea on the couch. Her being pagan brought much to talk about since I didn't know much about religion, and towards the end of our meeting she even read my tarot cards. I feel like in such a short time I learned so much about such a fascinating woman. The way her religion is very focused, yet she remains open-minded and still interested in everything I had to say. I really enjoyed my time with her, and though maybe our meeting was simple, I walked away feeling accomplished. I just hope she enjoyed our time as much as I did. So after Z, I contacted Jack Nolan and we met at IHOP for breakfast before church one morning. We sat down to pancakes and cheese crepes and an early morning breakfast. Missy James and their granddaughter Samantha joined us as well. We talked about everything as well, but it was a much different perspective of everything. As well as hearing interesting stories from Jack, I got to learn about other parts of his life through Missy as well. After breakfast, he even took me by the side of his old home where he grew up as a kid. Now overdeveloped with restaurants, shops, and apartment complexes, it was hard to imagine that a farm was once there. But it was really fun to hear him talk about it and hear interesting stories that he had while he grew up. Well, there was a very small part of this is a very small part of my experiences with my mentors, and I'm sure all of us connected with our mentors in some way. I know some of us even connected on a really close level with them. We all want to thank them for taking time out of their busy lives to spend time with us and for volunteering for the program to become our mentors. It meant a lot to all of us, and we hope that you feel that it was time well spent, because it most certainly was for us.
Thanks, Vanessa. That was a wonderful way to come up here. When I first heard about the mentor program, I was interested because I really like teenagers. Probably because I had a really hard time through my teen years and barely made it out alive. And don't really feel to most days that I progressed very far from being a teenager mentally, so I still connect with them real well. What I first thought it was going to be was that we would all pair up with, this teenager, and we would have to be the ones to tell them, this is what reality is. Those are great ideas and wonderful philosophies, but this is what real life is. Well, what a surprise. I mean, you just heard who I got to mentor. What I came out of it with was hope for the future. If we have more teens like this that have those kind of values and thoughts and come from a wonderful family like she does, our future is very bright and very solid. And most of them, I didn't get to meet all of them, but every once in a while we would hear them speak, and it was just wonderful. So that's what I got out of it, and I really enjoyed participating in it. I would love to see it continue and have more people be involved and maybe become, a program that they go through at different ages. But I really enjoyed it. It's a wonderful program, and I got just as much out of meeting with her as she did, probably more. She's so together. It's like, if I could have had a program like this when I was a teenager. I was involved in church, but it was a real hands-off thing. We didn't have things like this. It was how Anne Marie said, we were in a different building, kind of tucked away, and really I think it was just to get rid of us so the adults could do their thing. And if I had something like this, if I had an involved place to be, I think I would have had a few easier years. I made it. I had a great family too, but I think that programs like this are good. I think that the key to having a successful transition into adulthood is to be involved, and this is a great place to be involved. And it made me feel more part of the church and closer to everybody here.
We're going to have our offertory now. Mikey's going to play for us. After the collection plates go by, and I hope you'll be generous because we need funds to run this church. We need to pay our staff. That means me and John and Ann and other people. And we need supplies for religious education. And kids use up paper and crayons like you wouldn't believe. So we ask you to be generous in your offering. But after the offering plate has come by, we also want to include in this service joys and concerns like we always do. But this morning we asked it's too, so you can see it on. Okay.
Like most Unitarians, freedom, reason, and tolerance are the basis for my beliefs. My views on the universe, God, and ethics are greatly influenced by my beliefs. I thoroughly support the scientific theories of the creation of the universe and mankind. As I observe the wonder and intricacies of the world, I am led to believe that there is some force behind or within the universe. This is my interpretation of God. I do not personally believe in the Judeo-Christian God, an all-knowing, all-powerful human-like being that controls the destiny of individual human beings. I believe that everyone has control over their actions and has the ability to make conscious decisions. I understand and respect that everyone has different influences and therefore has different beliefs. I believe that when a person is born, they are neither good nor evil. I believe that man generally has good morals and strives to be good. I also believe that evil is created by humankind. I understand there are some things that are blatantly evil, like murder, but I don't understand the ability for some people to consciously commit these acts. Good and evil are difficult concepts for me. I believe in the equality of all people, of every race, religion, and sexuality. I believe in the religious teaching, treat others as you wish to be treated, and I try to follow this every day. I enjoy examining works and beliefs of other religions, forming my own opinions on them and relating them to my life. I want to believe there is an afterlife, yet my reasoning gives me evidence that this life is it. I follow the humanistic view that to live life to the fullest, and to do good deeds, not to get to the next life, but to benefit others and myself. I care about the well-being of other human beings, as well as the environment. Recently, I visited the Soul Stalker Center and have been learning about the AIDS quilt. I find these experiences very fulfilling, and I plan to become more involved. I find it very important to understand how fortunate I am and to aid those less fortunate. As a student in high school, my top priorities are to do everything I can to make the future better for myself and those around me. I think it is important to have a social life, and I also recognize the significance of my family and my responsibilities. I go out of my way not to be lazy. Right now, the goals I'm striving for and the person I want to be are condensed into this quote of a fellow Unitarian Universalist, Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty and to find the best in others, to leave the world a little better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is the meaning of success. Okay, this is my paragraph. I strongly believe in freedom, reason, and tolerance. I believe in a force behind the universe, but not the omnipotent Judeo-Christian God. I believe in the good of mankind, yet I also believe that evil is created by humanity. I care about the well-being of others, and I plan to do things within my community to support this. Right now, my priorities are to do everything I can to make the future better. And this is my sentence. Through my strong beliefs of freedom, reason, and tolerance, and my respect for nature, I believe in the goodness of humankind and follow the principle of loving my neighbor as myself.
Hello everyone. My name is Shea and I will be reading my Statement of Faith essay. My main belief about God is that I think He exists, but my belief isn't strong due to the fact that I haven't had any miracles of Jesus or God happen to me yet. But I do believe in a superior being. Another reason is that I think everything on earth seems to happen scientifically, and that it has an explanation to back it up. Like when everyone is saying, thank God for this, I never see where God comes in. Because for everything that happens, there's a scientific reason or explanation for everything to back it up, and it all makes sense. That's another reason why my belief for God isn't that strong. The creation of the universe, I don't see any reason why it couldn't have been a God. It could have been a superior being that created the universe, or it could have been a scientific thing, such as the Big Bang Theory. I'm not very sure or opinionated on the universe. Good people are people who care about others and letting others people have their own ideas and be open about them, which is why I like Unitarianism so much. Bad people are people who only care for themselves and their own ideas and beliefs and aren't open to new things or accepting of others. I myself believe in letting people think what they want, and even if I think that their ideas are ludicrous, I don't want to try to make them stop thinking what they think, because everyone is entitled to believe what they want. Also, I care about other people, how they feel, which is why when someone looks sad, you try to make them feel better. I believe in just having common courtesy. I believe in life after death. I also think that what you do in this life determines whether you go to heaven or hell. I strongly believe that everything you do is in your mind. Whatever you think will happen will. The mind is a very strong thing. I'm not saying if you believe you can fly, that will happen, but anything realistic. Like if you tell yourself before you go to bed over and over again that you will wake up at 6 o'clock, then it works. Or if you just believe in yourself, it'll help you a whole lot. I also strongly believe in do unto others as you would do unto yourself, and that whatever you do will come back to you, which is why you should always do good things. I see life on earth as a cycle. Everything has a cycle, and our life is part of it, and it affects everyone. In conclusion, I believe that there is a superior being, but I'm not sure if it's a God. I believe science plays a part in everything. I believe you should always do well because I believe in what goes around comes around. And what I believe in most is that you should use your mind in a positive way and use it for the best. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Chris, and I'm going to be talking about the community service project and my statement of faith. But I'm going to do my statement of faith first. I don't really believe in anything at all. No God or Jesus or any higher being that controls just about everything. If there was, why would he, Sashi, it, allow for such suffering to go on or send innocent babies to hell because they are not saved when they first came out? It just doesn't seem right. I don't believe in heaven or hell. I don't think heaven was invented. I think heaven was invented a long time ago because people had trouble letting go of loved ones. So they made up the idea that when you die, you go to where they are. I don't believe in ghosts, spirits, or anything supernatural in that kind of way. I go by hard, cold, physical proof in what I believe. And there is no hard, cold, physical proof for God or spirits. Maybe if I experience these haunted houses for myself, I might change my mind. Do I think that there is life outside of Earth? Yes, I do. Which kind of contradicts what I said before about hard, cold evidence. And not just a thought. And not just a thought, but surely out of millions and millions of billions of trillions of other planets, at least 2 must hold life. Next up is what I think about good and evil. I think evil is the lack of good. No one is entirely good. Some have cheated on a test or spilled milk and lied about it, blaming it on somebody else. It's just character flaws. Everyone has them. Alright. I don't think people are born evil, nor do I think they are born good. It's just what you put into them and their surroundings, role models and parents, inspirations, etc. Add all of these things, hit blend, and there you go. You have a truly unique person. I like to know it. Some things I care about is friends, family, and laughter. There is nothing better than having a good joke at the dinner table or cheering a friend up from when they were down. Keeps everyone happy, healthy, and just makes the world a better place. You only live one life, and you need to live it to the fullest. Instead of sitting at home watching whatever it is you watch on the tube, put some skates, skateboard, bike, whatever, and ride to a friend's house. Go watch a movie with them or hang out at the mall, because life truly is too short, and make the best of the time you got. That wasn't so bad. Alright, moving on to the community service project. When you first hear the word homeless, you just think they don't have a home, but really they're struggling just in life and having things that they need, like food, shelter, and the other one. And it's just, by going there and making the sandwiches for them, it really touched my heart. And when we visited their dorms and stuff, seeing how little that they have and how much that we have, and how lucky we are to be, and that we should give. Oh, geez, this is a little worse. Yeah, while we were making the sandwiches, we were to pass the time of making 200 sandwiches, we just made up the sandwich mafia pretty much. Arch enemies of the carrot baggers. And really good. Jeez. Alright, I got this written down. I want to encourage all of you to go out and do something for someone. It truly is a magical experience, and you will make you a better person, both inside and out.
Hi, I'm Amanda. And when the question of what do you believe in is asked, I feel compelled to answer in the simplest way possible. And I feel that most teenagers are looking for an easy way out. I often find myself wanting to reply, I believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, because that's what society has placed on the average American to believe in. Simply and truthfully, I just believe in life. Life is something that should be viewed as the greatest gift ever given to the race of humans. We live and breathe experiences, and life shouldn't be wasted with worries, regrets, and inhibitions. I see people focused on one thing and one thing only, and it makes me sad because they aren't living life to the fullest, as many people say. When it comes to people, I believe people are born innocent. Babies are the purest things in the world because they have an absolutely clean slate. No evils have affected them, no goods have affected them, and the baby is born and has a life, and it's beautiful. To me, the best good in the world is freedom, absolute freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of self, everything that is included in freedom. Everyone on earth should have this freedom, but unfortunately some countries do not allow this. The worst evil is corrupt power. When an individual learns or is given or comes into power and then uses it to corrupt people into what the leader wants, I seem to be experiencing an Irish tune. Which brings me to another point, is that earlier, like the other day I was telling my dad that I think I'm turning Buddhist because I don't know, for like the past month I've just been so happy without any reasoning, just been absolutely joyful, and I think it's because I don't desire anything. Like, I'm happy with everything I have. I want what I have, and it just makes me happy. Groups can be outstanding and not so great. On one hand, groups bring out a sense of belonging and acceptance. Groups make some people feel right about themselves. On the other hand, groups can force people to do things they aren't comfortable with. Groups sometimes diminish individuality, and every member becomes a group. Names are lost and a title is given. Love influences a big portion of my life. The philosopher Freud's ideas were that every action and thought by humans had the same motive: sex. I think that's a bit extreme, but I believe that many, if not all, of our actions have a motive of love. This love could be for yourself, your peers, your family, your career, anything really, just that you care. A big non-material thing that humans have from birth is love. These philosophies that I have come to agree with were influenced by the Unitarian Universalist Church. Being surrounded by freedom of beliefs has left me in the dark in some areas. Many times I've been absolutely lost as to what I'm supposed to believe in, but I always come up with nothing quite conventional. Thank you.
This is my 2-page statement of faith. I don't believe in any God, even if he does exist. He certainly isn't doing his job right if he does exist. I think the universe was created out of nothing because it fundamentally is nothing. Observe gravity as a negative force. All visible gravity in matter is equal to 0. So it could have been created from nothing because it is nothing. Something like a math equation. 6 plus negative 6 equals 0. Next, I don't think our universe was a coincidence. I think a higher race, larger than us in size, created us purposely, by accident, or just from their nature. Application. science project. What we will result in, they just wanted to find out if their hypothesis was correct. Application 2. We are like a disease or any cell formation created by nature in their world. As far as I can see, good and evil are nothing but a system to classify what man scorns and does not allow, and the opposite of that. All a state of mind, an illusion like the world you live in. Good and evil trigger what I think to be the evil emotions that seem to take over completely the weaker or different opinionated minds. This causes incorrect judgment, poor choices, and etc. How can we tell the difference between the two? By looking through all points of view, without prejudgment, attempt to see the best choice that would result in the most lives saved or resources reserved. To find the most good, I think we should observe animals' behavior for census. I would picture our Earth as a deceased cell instead of a neutral one in that other world. Most people I see are more on the pathetic side. I don't judge by my eyes, but I can see their overdone materialistic values and poor ability to see through others, deciding good and bad 90% by what they see with their eyes, instead of using their minds to determine what something actually is. Still, all they can judge with their eyes is maybe how rich or poor someone is in financial status, making it even more pointless. Or now, looks are still pointless nowadays. They're too deceptive. Nothing you see is real anymore. It is altered to please the beholder and not show a true identity. I suppose all people have the ability to see what only some can, but let their desires guide them. And their desires are already pre-distributed and handed out to them, so they don't actually really want it. Analogy, something like a psychiatrist saying, "You're okay, but you're really not." It's just the feeling of being with everyone else that drives them, him or she, the bandwagon. Why must be like others? Why do they search for acceptance? What's wrong with what you originally found out by yourself, observing, even if you are alone, staying on the sidelines? If they could see that they were on the wrong course, maybe they would try to be different instead of another clone. That's all I think mostly the human race is anyway. I'm sure there are a million others who try to think just like I try to think. That's why difference stand out and hated. The haters don't know why they hate. Maybe it's a natural neutralizer. Unconsciously, they know they are wrong. We can't stand the fact that we're wrong, so we hate what has become war. I may be wrong, a part of my conception. Though these facts are mostly derived from peers, I'm sure there isn't much of a difference from the aged and us, other than responsibility and education. Now what I am. I suppose I see myself above most, but not better. Don't take this to stupidity, though. I'm aware of some natural equalizer among humans, but there are always outside variables to disturb progress. I guess I see myself as one of the lucky ones. I know many are like me, again think like me, but true diversity comes from people who do the task that many think themselves higher for thinking about. I guess it's because very few minds are powerful enough to leave it all behind, let go, and put to work what must be done. I don't really value any materialistic things except computers. I value them because I think they're the future of mankind, the source of diversity, the arts, if you will, of modern day reality. Example, a mod for a game known by very few, the prized possession of having what they don't. Let us see farther, riding the spiral. We will never see the end, but we may try. Do I value one's life? I suppose not as much as mine. But this must be true to complete in a Commonwealth formula. If I don't care for my part, I tear the world with greed, drugs, and even more pointless things like suicide. I think the one in the scapegoat shoes would commit suicide because they have not considered all the possibilities, because they would be weaker, not because what they have gone through. It shows they were put down by what is actually dumber on the other side. Ethics lesson. Survival method number 1, food and water. Method number 2, companion, friend, family. That is why we value friends and family more than any other, and would save their lives. I can't say I wouldn't, I'm only human. Another search for acceptance, find commonality. Then the others who try to look farther, but are misguided, find less valued poverty and starvation in the world. How do you think it got this way? It was us who started all our problems, of course, so instead we try to save them. You don't solve a problem with a larger problem. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. Daniel Quinn's Ishmael Law states an increase in food production is an increase in population. And when we try to save them, we increase food production, making it endless. There it is. If we try to save them, so the harsh reality we created must be harshly taken out of existence. But the more powerful mind will endure. So will you find Savior? Certainly not by giving everyone a taste of the treasured food we call luxury. Everything is a speck of the mind.
I'm going to read mine in different ways. Sometimes I am confused about what I believe, and I'm not sure if it's right. But that's what's great about my religion. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, it just matters that it's you. As my teacher once put it, I see God in a blade of grass. I don't believe that God is an almighty being that is number one. I think he or she is a personal guide for oneself. God is in your conscience and is unique to everyone. I believe God is a stepping stone to one's spirituality. Personally, I would call my God Brenda, or some other name I can relate to. The name God scares me. It's like a lion roaring in my face. Many people believe that with God you get Jesus. I do believe that there is a Jesus, but I don't believe in all of the miracles. He could possibly have been a quack. But whatever makes people feel secure and safe, I think they should keep believing in. I think that there are many different explanations about the universe and life.